Hello everyone. The next topic that we're going to cover with our extra credit problem is graphing inequalities and systems of inequalities. This is very similar to graphing a line with a few little differences. So the first problem that you guys have for your extra credit problem is to graph the inequality y plus 4 is less than negative 2 times x minus 4 on a set of axes below. So, much like graphing a line, to graph an inequality, we need to get y by itself. So I am going to help you guys do that. So we have y plus 4 is less than negative 2, x minus 4. So the first thing you want to do is distribute this negative 2 through. So we get y plus 4 is less than negative 2 times x, which is negative 2x, and negative 2 times negative 4, which is positive 8. So y is still not by itself. I need to get this 4 away. The 4's cancel, and I get y is less than negative 2x plus 4. And there's my inequality. So much like graphing a line, graphing an inequality is similar in that you want to go to, when you're at your calculator, go to a new document, add a graph. Now remember, we can't graph this as an inequality because your graph won't give you a table. So we have to graph it like a line. So if I were to graph this as a line, I would have negative 2x plus 4. Enter. And that gives me my line. What I really need this for is I need to get my points from a table to graph. So at this point, I want to hit Control T, and it's going to give me all my points that I can graph. Remember, the skinny bar are your x's, and the fat bar there are your y values. So at this point, go ahead and graph all of the points that you can on the axes below. As you're doing that, I just want to make note of, you go to graph your inequality and you're saying to yourself, I know there's shading and I know the line needs to be dashed or solid, but I can't think of what to do for this inequality. So once we have all my points graphed, we go to a new document again, add a graph. Now to make it an inequality, you hit delete, and that brings up all my different signs. So our problem here was a less than sign. So y is less than negative 2x plus 4. So this tells me, if I hover over the line, it tells me that the line should be dashed and the shading should be below. Now, if I try to get a table from here, it's going to tell me that it won't. So that's why I say graph it as a line first, get all of your points to graph the line, and then put the inequality in to figure out where the shading should be and what kind of line it should be. So again, at this point, I want you to go ahead and graph your inequality. Don't forget to write an XY table. Don't forget to put the inequality on the line and put arrows on it. All right, so your next problem asks you to solve the following systems of inequalities graphically. So first thing I want to note is that the regions, this is straight over regions, did not give you a did not give you any axes, so you have to actually draw, that's not a straight line, but you need to actually draw them on yourself. And make sure you label it with some numbers here. And your line should be straight. So, first thing we need to do, and I'm going to help you guys do this again, is get each of the inequalities into y equals form. So the first one here, to get it into y equals form, I have 3x plus 4y is greater than 20. So in order to get y by itself, we need to subtract 3x to both sides. The 20 and the 3x can't combine because 20 doesn't have an x. So the 3x's cancel, and you get 4y is greater than 20 minus 3x. in order to get rid of things that are being multiplied, we undo it with division. So I'm going to divide 4 on both sides. The 4's cancel. So I get y is greater than 20 minus 3x over 4. Now, remember with inequalities, if you divide or multiply by a negative, you need to flip the inequality sign. But since the 4 was positive, we don't have to worry about that. So there's my first inequality. Now you can go ahead and graph this by graphing just how I taught you for the first problem. You could put the 20 minus 3x over 4 in as a line first, get your points, then go ahead and put it in as an inequality to figure out where the shading should be and where the line should be, and whether it should be dashed or solid. Next, I'm going to help you with the other inequality. So I have x x is less than 3y minus 18. So again, our goal is to get our y's by itself, and I like to get them on the left side, especially with inequalities. So to get the 3y over, I'm going to subtract 3y to both sides. So I get x minus 3y is less than negative 18. I'm going to get the x away by subtracting that to both sides. And again, the 18 and the x cannot combine because the 18 doesn't have an x. So the x's cancel, and I get negative 3y is less than negative 18 minus x. Now I'm going to divide by negative 3 on both sides, and because I divided by a negative, I need to flip the inequality sign, so I get y is greater than negative 18 minus x over negative 3. And that's my other inequality. So we'll go ahead and graph that again. It's going to be just like we said before. Graph it as a line, then put it in as an inequality to figure out the shading. Before I let you go and do that, I want to show you how you can put both of them into your calculator at the same time so you can see the solution set. Because there's a follow-up problem to this that says, is a certain point, so is a 0.37 in the solution set. So when I go to my calculator, I'm going to put the first inequality in. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to put them in as inequalities. So y is greater than, we have negative 18 minus x over negative 3. Now that's really far up, so I'm going to hover over my 6.67 here and make that something like 20 so I can see it better. Now in order to get another bar so I can graph again, hit tab, and now you're ready to put your other inequality in. So the other inequality was y is greater than, so y is greater than 20 minus 3x over 4. So the solution set is going to be that dark blue area where the two inequalities cross. So a point is in the solution set if it's in the double shaded region. So that would be your explanation for the bottom one. It is a solution if it's in the double shaded region. It's not a solution if it's not. So go ahead and do both of those problems. There's only one video word for this video, and the word is green.